Turns out I didn't have to peg the washing out. It hasn't rinsed. Sometimes this is understood as an objection to proxy voice, you know, and on page 35 of my thesis you can read all the problems that there can be with proxy voices. That it's not a perfect thing, especially when the proxy voice isn't a family member or a loved one. It's definitely not a perfect thing, because your own opinions, your own view of the situation will influence what you think somebody else's view is, whether you're speaking to somebody who's got a profound intellectual impairment or you're just speaking on behalf of a mate. You're always guessing. But this isn't, when I'm saying that it's worth us thinking about ways to listen to people who lack the intellectual capacity to use standardised forms of communication and to use alternative augmentative forms of communication, that's not an alternative to proxy voice. You think about the people who are proxies. I think about somebody who is somebody I know who's a sibling carer to her brother, and I think about the parents I know. I'm thinking of a particular set of parents I know of a young lady who has just recently lost her capacity to use her voice. Her voice was never a spoken voice, but this is another factor, isn't it? You may have intellectual capacity and then lose it, and that's what's happening to this young lady. The variety of medical complexities are taking her capacity to think and reason away from her. Those proxy people really, really want to understand their loved one. They're really careful not to just think, oh, this is what I would want and that will be what they want. They spend a lot of time trying to work out and using their instincts and using their gut. How can I figure out what she would want, what he would want? And if we can come up with a new tool, or if we can come up with a suggestion, and there are lots of groups thinking about this. I read a paper from people who are using sensors to sense how much you're sweating and how fast your heart is going, and they're using biological markers like that. And in my work, I'm using attunement and affect and feeling and your interoceptive capacities, and you can read about it in my thesis if you want. I'm not in any way saying I've got an answer, not at all. I'm just saying these are conversations worth having.